You can expect to see this book in every bookstore window as you walk by today. After a week of leaks and revealing interviews, Prince Harry's memoir, Spare, is now on sale to the public. People are able to read it for themselves. Some bookstores in London opening at midnight, with some reporting lineups just to buy Spare. With her thoughts, we are joined by royal commentator Afia Hagen. Great to talk to you. I know you're doing the same, right? I'm going to duck out of the way so you can see one of the headlines from the UK, which says, "Oh, spare us." So we'll talk about the media reaction in a moment. But first of all, you've been able to flip through it. From what we've heard so far, everything is in here, from petty comments about who's more bald between he and William, to more serious accusations about racism, manipulation in the press, some shots at Camilla, his stepmother. What's your takeaway?
I mean, I am about 2/3 deep. I'm on page 280. And my takeaway is context is absolutely everything. So yes, we have had loads of headlines in the press, but when you put the context around it, I think especially the stuff about the theatre of war in Afghanistan, then it reads quite differently. It's very, very beautifully written. We know, of course, it was a ghostwriter, so not everything is Prince Harry verbatim, but it's very beautifully written. It's very descriptive. I mean, there are some real tales in there. He has some absolutely brilliant stories. He's very well traveled. He's done some incredible things from the North Pole to the South Pole and everywhere in between. And, you know, like you said, those stories about the press, about William or Willie, as we now know he calls him, Willie and Harold, who knew, and the way he talks about his mother, the fact that he thought and genuinely believed until his mid-20s that she, in fact, was just in hiding and that was going to come back. And the effect that grief has had through the whole trajectory of his life. I think that is very, very, very prominent throughout the book as well. And of course, there's some really hilarious moments. I mean, there's lots of drinking and drug taking and Club H and all that kind of stuff in there. And then, of course, there is the story about the Elizabeth Arden 8-hour cream, which I'm not going to go into here.
Oh, that is a good tease. Speaking of tease, Prince Harry has been giving these interviews promoting the sales of the book. Here's what he said to Michael Strahan in the U.S. About ever becoming possibly a working royal ever again.
Even if there was an agreement or an arrangement between me and my family, there is that third party that is going to do everything they can to make sure that that isn't possible. Not stopping us from necessarily going back, but making it unsurvivable.
It's a big word, loaded, unsurvivable. We know that Harry has long seen the press as demons. He blames them for his mother's death when he looked at those photographs and saw photographers taking pictures as she was lying dying in the backseat of a car. He sees them as a threat now to his family, but he is also engaging the press. Is this a fair assessment?
And that's the thing, it's like he's caught in this vicious cycle. On one hand, you have Prince Harry saying that he doesn't like the press, especially the tabloid press, that they've done some terrible things to him and his family, but he is engaging with them. He is using them for his own benefit. But let's be honest, he kind of has to do that to be able to get the book sales out there, to be able to get out there what he's talking about, which is invasion of the press. So there is kind of a vicious circle going round and round here. Let's be honest, he's engaged with the press that he likes, who he sees are potentially on his side, who he gets on well with, and that's Anderson Cooper and you know, all those other people, press that he likes. He's not
got
going
his friendly
to engage
channels for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's not going to engage with the press, and mostly the tabloid press, that he doesn't like. And he will talk about them to the other sides of the press. So yes, he's using it for his own advantage, using it for his good, whilst calling out the elements that he sees as more darker, more sinister, and more murky.
Yeah, you definitely see the pain on him when you read this book. I think what everybody wants to know is, can he go back? And will he go back for the coronation? It's in May. It's a few, a couple months.
I know we're on the eve of the coronation. Listen, I think him and Meghan will be there because I think King Charles III doesn't want to be seen as petty or petulant by asking them to stay away. And I think it could be the first steps on the road to reconciliation. Now, by no means do I think that if Harry and Meghan are at the coronation, that means that reconciliation has happened. Clearly, there are some big conversations that need to be had, but I think we will see them at the coronation in May.
I'm going to let you go back to reading your copy, and I'm going to read mine too. Afia, thanks so much for your conversation. We'll continue to talk, my friend. Thank you.
We will. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.